So this is it. So now since we already know that this is our header and this is the configuration, we have them in our file. What we can do, we can create one file called the header, so that all our headers are passed at once. So since I don't want to make much life hard, I can just do this. I cut that part of the application there and I just say include. So I include what? I include the header dot php. Then inside here I pass my header there. So this header I'm passing here is going to be a PHP header, like so. Good. So you know that here I have all my files. These are the files I'm going to require each time I'm going to get a connection. So you know that here I don't pass again the database. I just pass header. Now that's done. So that don't write a lot of codes. The next thing inside here is to create an object that is definitely going to be working on MySQL database. So how am I going to handle that? I'm going to define my own stuff which is going to pass for me the data. So I'm going to say maybe inside our MySQL database we have the following. So inside this record we have CRUD, and inside our CRUD we have this these are what the records we have. So I'm going to just copy this very fast and I try to make it very fast to work out. So this is it. So I have that record. So the first thing I'm going to do, for ID, leave it as it is. So this is the full name, and just say full name is same as having data because you're passing their data. I would use an that kind of PHP, but remember I'm going to use just a normal simple PHP version. So I'm going to just duplicate this. So this means this goes with that, and the phone comes in there and that. So that implies that part is done with being worked on. So the next thing means now I already have my data there in simple terms. You get, I already have, I'm passing up this data. So if you don't want to use this way I used it here, if it's confusing you, you could just do this. You could just say, I have data, and the data is same as having Johnson decode for me one on us file file get content. Then you say, you open up there because I'm using PHP, and then you say, you know what, I'm passing there one as input, and then after my input I'm going to pass there something called true. If you don't want to waste time with all of this process, you can just wait it to this. You get, it's still going to give you this chance. So I'm going to just comment this for you guys so that whoever wants to use it, you can definitely use it. So that in place still is the same stuff if you want, and that's it. So the next thing now is to check. You can check if phone number exists, or if you don't want to check, make any check, you can just do and insert. So what am I going to do there? The next thing, just passing insert. There's no big query because here I just try to pass some conditions. So here if it exists, then here insert. So I believe maybe we already have a record and we're not passing any condition for now. So since I'm not passing any condition, so the next thing is to insert to the database. Simple as that. So I'm going just to come in here and I pass my query. So I'm going to just say MySQL this. So I can say instead of that, I'm just going to say this is what I have. I'm just going to say maybe insert, and I say is equal to one on as what's our connection to the database? The connection to the database is called con. So I'm going to just say con, and I pass the query like so, and then I say maybe insert into the table. The table name is called I think the table name is called CRUD, which is that. So I'm just going to go back here and I say CRUD like so, and I just say values. So after there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say null, null. The next thing I'm going to pass there one as a full name. The next thing I'm going to pass there is going to be called address, and the next thing I'm going to pass there is going to be called phone. So that implies I'm done with inserting my record. So we would want to say that if at all inserting of the record is correct, return for me success. Now the success is always returned in the format of 200, and if at all there's an issue, let it return for me something like maybe if this record is correct, yes. Now here I didn't put check. I didn't put check condition, but I can pass it with you guys as well. So I just want you to understand here. So this can say maybe record inserted successfully, like maybe record or user inserted successful, and I also want to run a status success. Then here, if not so, invalid user. So if at all there's any error, it will just turn invalid user. So what am I going to pass inside my Johnson data? So to pass inside Johnson data, I'm going to pass full name, and I'm also going to pass address, and I'm also going to pass phone. That's what I have in our API. So this, I didn't put validation here, but I would wish to have that. So since you're a beginner, I don't want to give you guys hard time, so I want something to go straightforward. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go back inside here, and I move this so that when I click here, I can see insert. So I expect it to give me this kind of query because we have nothing really there. So no file of a header, include blah blah file to open stream, no such file, blah blah. Header, really? I think I did the header. So include for me header. Oh, sorry, header, I happened to put it inside. Oh, inside the config. Sorry for that. So I'm going to pass the config and then with the header. So that implies it has to first go inside config, then get from the header. So that implies our header does not need to have pass your config. It's just going to be straight to the header of a file if that's what we want to do. So that implies when I test from here first, I expect to have yes, insert recorded. But that's not a bad practice because you're inserting what is not there. You see, so you can see that even now it has inserted a record. So what you can do, you can actually pass a query that makes your combine to your core program to know that if there's nothing, let it first check for you. So this is it. So you can simply say if empty, if empty what? Full name or or empty maybe address or maybe empty maybe a phone. What do you want to do? When it's empty, I want it to return for us a Johnson data, maybe that, and tell us now, know what? Uh, message, just tell us message, like maybe uh, uh, fill all the fields, maybe some fields are missing. Now we are validating, and then the status is false. And then we want else. So that implies inside else condition of ours, or else statement, we don't have to worry about that because here I'm just passing up the data. So I know that if that's correct, then do for me that. You get? That implies under else, I expect now that to be executed. So meaning if you check here, you expect to have that. So this very, what I passed there is what I'm going to pass inside our API here. You get? So I'm going to just go to collections and I click there so that I can create one collection, I think. Okay. Check here. Show me. Wow. Just a minute. So I'm going to just send you. Where is it? 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 I think I have no environment yet. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to change this one to post because I'm posting up the data. So I'm passing the API there. So I'm going the body. I click there. So I open up here. I told you guys the first one is full name. So the full name can be OSP Pro. Okay. So the next one is going to be address. Maybe Kampala, Uganda. Get? The next we have there is maybe phone. Maybe the phones plus or whatever, maybe just 7044875633, whatever. So I expect as a hit here to get, you see, user registered successfully. And when you check back inside our data, we should have the record inserted. Just like that. So guys, that's how you insert record into the MySQL database. So this is it. I passed my header, which is inside here. I included my header in here. The next thing I did was to pass this whatever. If you don't want to use this method, please just pass this. Now next, I'm passing this Johnson data of yours. I'm trying to turn them to pick from the user's value. which is coming from data, and that's what I passed there. The next, since I equated them to the full name, the very numbers I have, I tend to come in here to check if it is empty. Meaning, if I go back here and I remove this is missing, and I try to hit enter, it will tell me some errors with the fields which are actually missing. You get? And the reason why I'm getting that error is because I didn't return the other side something called, I didn't disable it. So like I would say, maybe essential, what? Maybe error handling to now, like to error handling, maybe error reporting, error reporting, sorry, error reporting to null. Like there's no error reporting at all. So that means if I hit here enter, it will not, it will be good, but now remember, we'll look onto line 12, insert, line 13, line 14. Inside insert, let me just check that. Line 12 and 13, 14, line 12. Oh, it's telling you this is missing. So what you could do to make life simple, if you don't want to show those funny stuffs there, you can bypass one at a go and just put your art like so. So that whenever it senses that, it does not see it as a burden. Instead, it just goes through it. And I think you can see it's reducing up those errors. But here it shows you they are missing up fields. So and yet we know that if I come back here and I tend to add the record there, and I just change maybe this to someone else, and maybe Kenny, whatever, and I click there, I think you can see the record being inserted successfully into our MySQL database. So that's guys for now. Thanks you for watching this short video. We have seen how to insert record into the MySQL database using an API. In this case around, we're using what known as Johnson data. So this is a Johnson data. So how do we now go to track the Johnson data and return to user on the browser so that you can see Johnson? So you can see I have this is raw and the other one is the data. So that's it. So when you check here now at the moment, you have that. You get? Yes. So we have our data and that's it. So let's now look onto how do we fetch the record from the database. Thank you for watching.